With this video, we conclude the trilogy of videos about the Kaioken as part of the technique guide. So before watching this video, make sure you have seen the Kaioken Explained and Super Kaioken Explained, because on this video, we're going to be discussing the Kaioken Blue as part of the technique guide and talking all about what that power-up was like for Goku and the properties behind that. So, let's get to it. Kaioken Blue can also be referred to as Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken or Blue Kaioken, and it first made its debut in the Dragon Ball Super anime during the fight with Goku and Hit during the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament, aka the Champa arc. Now, I must tell you that as of this video, it is currently unclear as to what Toriyama's stance on this actually is, because I'm not entirely sure that this was a Toriyama idea. I don't recall there being an interview of him discussing Blue Kaioken, and it seems like this was another idea that was invented by Toei Animation that was carried into Dragon Ball Super and based on an idea that Toei came up with way back during Z, which is of course the Super Kaioken, but instead we have very similar properties to that here now applied to the stronger and newer Super Saiyan Blue. So if you watched my Super Kaioken video, I went into the fact that the reason why Goku does not use this more often is because of the dangers of stacking Kaioken on Super Saiyan. It can have adverse effects on the body. And we literally see this in Dragon Ball Super when Goku utilizes the Kaioken on top of Super Saiyan Blue. It's the same idea. Goku's already in Super Saiyan Blue, which is a powered up version of Super Saiyan with God Ki, and on top of that he's stacking Kaioken. We find out, because Goku says it himself, that Goku had been working on this for quite some time as a possible way to defeat Beerus for their eventual rematch. But when Hit came along, Goku was challenged so much that he figured, why not bust it out now? But this was not just a one-shot appearance. Goku would use the Kaioken Blue numerous other times for the rest of the Dragon Ball Super anime, but interestingly enough, was absent from Dragon Ball Super Broly, which leads a lot of fans to believe that maybe Toriyama did not come up with it. Now, I must tell you that even though Kaioken Blue is considered a transformation by many, that is incorrect. It is a technique. It's just Goku utilizing Kaioken on top of Super Saiyan Blue. And when Goku first used it against Hit, at that point he had not yet mastered it. In fact, they talk about how it only had a 10% chance of working and a 90% chance of failing and possibly destroying Goku's body in the process. And because at the time Super Saiyan Blue was still pretty new, not just to Goku himself, but also to us as the viewing audience, it makes you wonder how much Goku really did understand the properties of Super Saiyan Blue at this time compared to later on in the series. Well, we find out that Super Saiyan Blue by itself seems to have an instinctively calm ki control. Unlike Super Saiyan God, which seemed to be a bit more explosive at the time and unstable, Blue does not seem to have that issue, even though later on that seems to have changed a bit when it comes to like Red and Blue. But I'll go more thoroughly into that when we discuss Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue in upcoming transformation guides here on the channel. That's not what this is about though, but it's still interesting because the reason why I bring it up is that with Super Saiyan Blue being more of a chill form, more of a calm form that Goku uses effectively in battle, it means that the Kaioken should in theory be tailor-made for it because it's not unstable and not based on rage necessarily like the Super Saiyan form is. So Kaioken Blue should allow Goku to focus his mind and body during combat without worrying about losing control. The implication here is that if Goku had attempted to stack the Kaioken on the regular Super Saiyan forms, it may have actually shredded him and killed him, which is sort of like Toei saying, yeah, that Otherworld tournament stuff from Z, that never happened. It's like their acknowledgement of that in a weird roundabout way. Now, what makes Kaioken Blue so interesting, and I went into this in the Kaioken Explained video about how Kaioken amplifies your senses, your speed and strength, is that Goku was having so much trouble battling Hit's time skip, but when he activated the Kaioken Blue, he was able to outspeed the time skip, which means that some people would take this feat and totally highball it which I don't blame them for even doing this, into believing that Goku was able to surpass space-time by being able to basically move faster than the time skip. I mean, that's kind of what happens here. There may be different ways to interpret this based on your belief of how time skip actually works in Dragon Ball. And I did do a technique guide on the Toketobashi a while back before it was even called a technique guide many years ago. But we discussed it more thoroughly in there. But either way, no matter which way you want to look at it, it does appear like Goku with Kaioken Blue was faster than Hit with time skip. We see this. And keep in mind that during the fight with Goku and Hit, he was using a 10 times Kaioken Blue. And later in Dragon Ball Super, he would use Kaioken Blue times 20, which would be even faster. Mind-blowing speed and power here. One of the more eye-opening things about Kaioken Blue, especially during that Hit fight specifically, is that when Goku is using Kaioken Blue, it seems like his body is pretty sustainable. It seems like during the fight, Goku is able to fight effectively without any sort of backlash, and it wasn't until after the fight ended, when Goku dropped down to his base form, that he felt the after effects. It seems like Super Saiyan Blue might protect Goku, or maybe it was just an adrenaline rush. Maybe it was just willpower, who knows, during the battle. But I feel like after the battle ended, when that adrenaline calmed down, Goku was in severe pain. In fact, there was an entire episode of Dragon Ball Super dedicated to Goku and his strange muscle spasms and his body sort of healing or trying to heal from this usage of Kaioken Blue. It really tore him up. Didn't kill him, but the dude was in pain for a sustainable amount of time even after the fight. But based on the way this technique is used in other fights in Dragon Ball Super, I feel like that little handicap, Goku was able to overcome it because we never really saw that again. Goku was able to use Kaioken Blue at much higher levels later on and not suffer any consequences from anything we saw. Also, interesting fun fact, I do believe that Kaioken Blue is the first time in Dragon Ball we see a character have what I refer to as a double aura, which basically means that you have the red around Goku's body with the blue sort of closer to his body. We would later see this in Trunks' Rage form, but this is the first time I can remember there being like a double aura, and I think it looks really cool. And I remember when that first happened, when we first saw this episode where Goku did it against Hit, and we were all freaking fanboying out over that episode. I mean, it was just really, really awesome to see. That's the anime. Now, the manga is where things get confusing based on different statements made. In the manga, when we first read it in black and white, we never saw Goku using Kaioken Blue. Not on Hit, not on Goku Black, and not really on Jiren, but it was discussed at one point, which was later on sort of explained in V-Jump, and then that was contradicted in the colored version of the manga. So during Goku's fight with Jiren in the manga, he increases his power exponentially at one point, and Krillin on the sidelines is questioning whether or not he's using the Kaioken. And Whis basically says that it seems like Goku is drawing deep from his reserves for a temporary power boost. And Tenshinhan asks, is it the same principle as Kaioken? So what they're basically saying is that what Goku is doing is similar to Kaioken, but not exactly Kaioken. Well, in V-Jump magazine, recently, this past summer, they revealed that no, that was Kaioken Blue. So we were all like, oh, okay, so Kaioken Blue was in the manga. You can't really tell because when it's a black and white manga, they don't really give you colors. That is until the Dragon Ball Super full colored editions came out. And then we saw that Goku was not using Kaioken Blue, or at least not the aura of Kaioken Blue. So this is up in the air. I'm just presenting the information to you. I don't know exactly what the hell's going on. I don't know if the person who colored it made a mistake. I don't know if V-Jump was wrong, which they have been many times in the past. But whether or not Goku actually used Kaioken Blue in this scene, it seems to be depending on who you want to believe. Honestly, at this point, I would just, based on the statements and the color, which is 2 against 1, I'm going to say it was not Kaioken Blue. But again, it could have been a mistake. These things happen. But I feel like V-Jump magazine and the editors behind that oftentimes say things that don't correlate with the series, which is why if we're using these statements in these videos that myself and other YouTubers and people in the community use, you have to also remember that V-Jump is not always what Toriyama is saying. Sometimes it's just some editor in V-Jump putting in his 2 cents without actually clarifying where the information came from. You know what I mean? So it's always been a bit iffy on that. I leave that to you. And if I get more information on that in the future, I'll do an update. But as of right now, it's up to you. Either way, even if we don't see Kaioken Blue in the manga, it is basically said that it exists in that version of the continuity. So that, to me, makes it okay, I guess. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to bring this video to a close. That is the story of Kaioken Blue and the end of the Kaioken Trinity of videos, starting with Kaioken Explained, Super Kaioken, and now Kaioken Blue. And don't forget, Vegito also used Kaioken Blue in the Heroes show and manga. But it's Heroes and, you know, they do whatever they want. With that being said, I will end the video. If you enjoyed it, check these out as well. Thank you for watching.